Hey everybody, my name is Kyle Knott and I am not your average finance guy. We're going to talk a little bit about beneficiaries today, and I know this can be kind of a boring subject, but stick with me here because it's a super important one. I got a story for you. I was working out on Lock and Dam on the Mississippi River, and our inspector, he had an ex-wife and they've been divorced, and he was remarried and had some kids, and it kind of moved on and divorced, whatever. I don't think she ever remarried. She was in poor health, and I don't even know how many years it was, but he told me that he just got like one day he got $50,000 because his ex-wife never updated beneficiary information. When they were married, she had some kind of, I don't know if it was insurance or it must have been some kind of a life insurance thing through work that she never updated the beneficiary. When she finally passed away, he heard that she passed away and was like, oh, it's my ex. They were still amicable. Sorry she died, but he had already moved on. He got a $50,000 check when she died. Now, I don't think she had a family and everything else that outside of what his was to be able to. No one really needed it, but it could have went to her niece or nephew or her sister or brother or someone other than her ex-husband. And we've all heard stories like this, right? How many times has someone died, they don't update their beneficiary, and it goes to somebody that they don't want it to go to. When they signed up for the papers, it's like, yeah, we'll put on, you put beneficiaries on everything. I don't have 401k, your investments, your life insurance, all kinds of stuff. Like, where does this go if and when you die? So let's talk a little bit about beneficiary. Does it go to a person? Do you want it to go to your wife? Do you have a will? Do you have a trust? Do you have an entity? What do you have in place? And this is something to think about. I just made a video on getting professional help, and this is something that you need professional help on. I am not the professional that can walk you through this, but I want to bring attention to it because who you're leaving behind can really get screwed if you don't keep this up to date. So one thing that I do with my life insurance, with my infinite banking policy, is I'm not leaving it to my wife. I'm not leaving it to my kids. What I'm leaving it to is a trust. So it's not a person, it's a trust. And then the trust is set up in a way that will give money if and when they need it. The last thing I want to do is give an 18-year-old kid $2 million. I know what I would have done when I was 8. If you're 18 years old and you got a couple $1 million dumped in your lap, you'd probably just go out and blow it. All right. If I was 18, I'd probably go buy a Lamborghini or something stupid. I wouldn't be able to afford the insurance, and I'd probably wreck it, and it would be gone. So I've set things in place where they get money for certain things. It's going to remain invested. It's going to keep on rolling, and they'll still be taken care of. But it's not just going to be oh, dad died, but I won the lottery type of deal. So something to really think about. Again, get that professional help on that, and they can really help you think about things upon your passing. And it's good to, I know nobody thinks about dying, but it's going to happen. I guarantee it. So just look at that. Look at setting up, who is it? If it's a person, is it a trust? Is it an entity? Sometimes I think you can even leave it to a company. Maybe it's a family-owned company. Then that goes into there and it's dispersed. And again, not my specialty, but I just want to bring this up to the surface so you actually think about it. Look through what is everything that you have a beneficiary for. Like I said, do you have a 401k? Do you have any investment accounts? Do you have obviously life insurance of any term, whole life, whatever kind of life insurance it is? Look at those beneficiaries. Do they need to be updated? I would look at those anytime, especially if you're going through a divorce, or what if your spouse passes away first? Then they might not have a bunch, but at some point, all of your beneficiary was your spouse. What if it was them? And then you remarry, and then your new wife and maybe new family somehow, and that's how all this trouble starts. Even if you don't mean for any trouble, and it's all tied up in the courts. If you're obviously, you can't leave money to someone that's already passed away, but if that's what your beneficiary says, now everything has to go to the court. Meanwhile, your family and kids and everything that you moved on might be relying on this money, and just to be able to buy groceries and pay the mortgage. But now all of your stuff is tied up in probate court because you didn't make a simple beneficiary. You didn't update your beneficiary. You left it to someone who had already passed away. So now it's all locked up in court. Your family can't make their mortgage payment. They can't buy they don't have no income coming in, but they know they have all kinds of money. They know they have a life insurance policy that at some point they're going to get. It might be multiple millions of dollars, and once they get it, they'll be fine. But what happens in that income? They could. I've heard of stories. You literally they lose the house, and lose the car, lose everything that they have, and then they get this big lump sum of money, because we all know that the court systems, they're not that efficient. Anything government isn't efficient. So get this stuff in order now. If you can get the right beneficiary, and like I said, don't talk to me, but I think a living trust, and that'll keep everything out of probate, and it'll just keep everything going, because you don't have to stop and wait on the courts for all their bullshit. So something to think about. If you haven't updated your beneficiaries, look at that again, especially any kind of life events plans that have happened or changed. Get that updated. Good luck.